TV. This is our SaharaTV Talk Back segment. My name is David Miskis. This is my colleague Adiola Fayun. And we're going to be taking calls via the audience via phone on the Centenary celebrations in Nigeria, the media chat that President Jonathan had last Monday, as well as the continued fight against Boko Haram, among many other matters. So please, we want to take as many callers as possible, so try to limit your comments when you do come on the air to 2 minutes. And we'd like to, again, include as many of the audience members as possible. So thank you.
And also, if the guys can put the phone number on the screen for those who may not be aware of. Okay, they put it up already, so yeah. All
right. So, yeah, the media chat last Monday, I think, is a good place to start. Actually, Jonathan touched on probably every other topic we're going to talk about. What to you stood out or didn't stand out the most? Either something he missed completely, left out, or something that he said that was just like, is he really on the same page?
I actually have issues with a lot of things that he talked about. Started with his reaction to the killings of Boko Haram. To me, I just didn't feel like he understands the pains and the grief that people are going through. And if he does, it's not coming through in his communication. So that was a huge disappointment for me, because I feel like he should be more, empathy, so to say, towards the parents, as well as the family members of those who have lost loved ones. So I didn't see that in the media chat. And I didn't really see any solution being discussed in terms of Boko Haram. Like in the media chat, I didn't see any new thing, any solution being discussed. So that really, so yeah, that was a huge surprise for me.
Hello, I understand we have a caller. If you can just say your name and where you're calling from.
This is Tomiwa. I'm calling from Ohio in the United States.
Hi, Tomiwa. Welcome to Sahara TV. So what would you like to share with us today on the show?
Oh, yeah, I just want to contribute to the conversation about the media chat. So what I noticed from the old, from the old talk from the president is that we have successfully diverted the attention from the corruption going on in the system to the suspension. Nobody's asking questions about the NNPC not being audited since 2005, right? Nobody's asking questions about even some of the parastatals of the federal government. For example, the Federal Inland Revenue Service, FIRS, and the customs. All these parastatals of government being audited. We only know the NNPC. Nobody's asking questions about the 20 billion that is gone missing. Now, our focus is on the suspension of Sanusi, which is actually a non-issue compared to the gross corruption, systemic corruption going on in the system. And I would like us to kind of focus more on this corruption, on this anomaly going on within the system. I want to, my heart and goes out to the family of the slain kids in Yobe and in Borno. It is true. I think it is true that the government is not doing enough to tackle the Boko Haram insurgency. The reason I say this is that we notice that the Boko Haram people, they come in from they're driving from Cameroon, according to the report. I saw a video on Sahara TV about them, roaming around freely on the street. So that means they come in, and nobody can spot this convoy.
Yeah, sorry, we're going to have to stop you there. Like I said, we're trying to bring many audience members, and unfortunately we can only limit our callers to just about 2 minutes. But I wanted to discuss, and I thank you so much for joining us and for sharing your commentary here. But really briefly before we go forward, Adila, what did you think about that? That's been a common concern.
That's true that it's not been diverted to the suspension of Sanusi, but not just the suspension of Sanusi. It's also diverted a chunk of the media chat was on the Centenary celebration. I don't see what we are celebrating. I mean, yes, we should celebrate the fact that we are now 100 years old, but this is not the kind of atmosphere where people feel like celebrating. If we can focus on the issues at hand, people would actually celebrate. I mean, we would be able to celebrate, but if children are still being killed because they're going to school, I don't see how you feel comfortable to, be celebrating in the middle of all this. So yes, there is a diversion from the real issue, the $20 billion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and even Ngozi, well, now supposedly, or at least recently, calling for this independent audit that she wants wrapped up quickly. I mean, I think Tomo brought up another point that this is only considering the NNPC. What about like other parastatals and other organizations that where questionable actions have been occurring?
And Ngozi had brought in external auditors in the past when Sanusi first raised the alarm. So why do we need another, external auditor? So I think there's another caller right now.
Yeah, I understand we have Odefemi from Minnesota. Yes, hello, Odefemi?
Yes?
Yes, hi, welcome to Sahara TV. Thank you for calling in our TalkBack segment. So please, share with us your comments.
Hey, thank you very much. I just want to, first of all, say that my prayers and thoughts go to the families of those little kids that were killed in Yobe State. It's very heartbroken that Nigeria, after more than 50 years of existence, is still finding herself in this state, despite all the examples all around the world that all we have to do is just copy and paste what is going on in other places. If only we are serious about developing a country and not just going to the government and making money. So, like others have clearly expressed, I think Goodluck Jonathan is not the right person to lead Nigeria. Of course, he's an accidental president. I have expressed it several times. He didn't prepare for this position. He wasn't ready. He had no manifesto. As a matter of fact, he didn't think he was going to become Nigeria president. So it was forced on Nigerians, and unfortunately, we have to deal with him now. So the sad part of the whole thing is 2015 is coming now, and this guy is going to contest again. And I fear that he might be declared the winner. I'm not saying he's going to win.
Let me ask Olufemi, let me interrupt you. What do you think has to be in place if we are really going to prevent rigging in this coming election in Nigeria?
I have said it several times. I think Nigerians currently are a set of people that hopes, their hopes have been stolen from them. We must face that fact. And something that has to be in place is the people that have voice in Nigeria talk about our pastors, our imams, the civil society leaders. They have to lead the emancipation of the Nigerian people at this time. It is high time the people began to speak out and began to mobilize the regular Nigerians, not the ones that we see on TV and the ones we see on newspaper. But the regular Nigerians, they are the ones that are suffering and bearing the brunt of the agonies that have been unleashed on them by the political elites. So I think what has to be in place is that the people that are the ears of these political elites, and I believe our pastors and the imams do have their ears. And if that is not going to happen, I fear Nigeria is not going to move forward. I'm telling you the truth. And
right.
except people are willing to
sorry, Olufemi, we're going to have to
on the streets.
Yeah, thank you so much, Olufemi, for calling in. Sorry, we're going to have to cut you here. As I said again, we have so many audience members calling. We'd like to try to hear from as many people as possible. But one thing I'd like to just discuss briefly that Olufemi pointed out is that pastors and imams need to be involved. Now, there's two issues that I've seen come up that Nigerians like to discuss about that is one, there unfortunately have been a number of corruption allegations against some members of different in churches and mosques and that kind of thing, which I think throws issue of whether they're getting too close to politicians that are also doing corruption or they're not speaking out enough. But then on the other side, when these church members, priests and others and imams, they come out and they do speak on behalf of the people, there's this backlash sometimes that, oh, you should stay out of politics, you should just pray for the people, and you deal with the spirit and not with
exactly.
the people now.
A lot of people in Nigeria believe that you need to separate. Before I go on with my thought, I understand that Oscar is calling from Lagos, so let's pick him quickly. Oscar, welcome to Sahara TV.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. So briefly, can you go ahead to tell us what you have on your mind?
Yeah, actually, I want to make a contribution, especially in respect to what is presently going on in the northeastern part of the country and the comments of especially Mr. President during that particular briefing and some eminent Nigerians. Mm-hmm. Indeed, it's a worrisome experience. Nigerians have been expecting that situation would have been put to end by this time around, but up to now we are still witnessing this act of terrorism. We actually sympathize with the parents, we sympathize with as many people that this particular thing happens to them. But I still want to say that the responsibility of having a better and a good security rests with the people, especially in the northeast. There's so much infiltration of these terrorists into that particular part of the country. And I believe if the people are ready, if the people, especially the leaders of the northeastern part of the country, they can curtail the influence of these insurgents, because it is expected that they will give additional information to government or to security agencies to help this particular situation. But unfortunately, hesitating, people are still scared of coming out to give out information because their safety is at stake. Mm-hmm. I come from that part of the country and I know what is happening, especially when you want to give out information. It is very difficult. You may not even know the next giving the information to whether he is also a Boko Haram member or not. So actually, it's a very huge problem.
Thank you so much, Oscar.
Thank you so much, Oscar, for those comments. Now, he made a very interesting point as well. Yeah, I mean, I think it is true that you know, obviously they're operating. But I like that he pointed out that, yes, well, it is somewhat expected that people would help the security agencies by reporting if Boko Haram's operating. Yeah. It's also their safety at stake.
It's that bad now, like even among the security officers. I mean, there's so many questions unanswered because he recently changed the, Jonathan recently changed the head of the security service agent. I mean, I don't remember the actual title, and he's a northerner. So I mean, we have the hope that if somebody that is not from the north was not able to handle it, okay, now we have somebody from the north. So what is going on? I'm not saying that he's not doing his job, but he made a really good point that you don't even know who to trust. You don't know who you can give information to.
Hi, I understand we have Mustafa from London on the line. Thank you for calling Sahara TV. If you'd like to share your comments.
Yeah, thank you. My name is Mustafa Mohammed from London. I come from Sokoto State. What I would like to say is that it's really, really sad and very pathetic what's going on in Nigeria. People are killed on a daily basis. Children, young men, able young men who are even struggling to feed themselves or feed their parents are being killed. Just for what? Something called Boko Haram, who are now seemingly, not even seemingly, who have proven to be stronger than the entire Nigerian military. Can you imagine? This is pathetic. I have even, because of all this, I have stopped watching or listening to Nigerian news. It is sad. We just celebrated, what is it called? 100 years of what?
Centenary.
Of people being killed. What is the cause of this celebration? At this moment, can't it be postponed? Can't we stop it until we solve and save the life of our Nigerians?
Exactly.
People are killed. People are dying. Hunger, poverty. I tell you, I have masters in mechanical engineering, but I'm unemployed. This is what is going on. Money is being looted on a daily basis. If you dare hear your opinion, legitimate opinion, for peace and progress of the nation, the presidency will go against you. Because you don't play by what they want, even if that is going to go against the peace and security of the nation. Can you imagine? Instead of us to promote ourselves, to promote goodwill, to promote peace and prosperity, to promote entrepreneurship, we are not doing that. The presidency is only engaged in promoting ethnicity, in promoting stealing, in promoting mismanagement. Anyone who is strong in mismanagement, as long as he supports the president, he's going to be with him. Anyone who's a killer, as long as he supports the president will dine with him. How can we move forward?
Thank you very much, Mustafa. Thank you for your comments. You raised a number of important points there, which a couple of them he talked about was the fact that it seems within Jonathan's cabinet that he brings some very questionable individuals very close to him. Like you mentioned, if you are stealing, as long as you're in support of the president, if you happen to be a killer, as long as you're in support of the president. I mean, I think there's been a lot of questions about the people that Jonathan surrounds himself at the cabinet level. And the other issue that he pointed out, and I think that you brought up before, was the fact that at the media chat, Jonathan didn't seem to address, and when he did address, he seemed not to be on the same page with Nigerians in commiserating with them on this tragic loss of life and the continued tragic loss of life, not just at Yobe College, but before it at Imawa State, at Bama Village, at Baka Village. I mean, there's so many times that villages, even in the past 3 weeks, have been attacked and hundreds of people reportedly injured and killed.
Out.
And houses burned and everything. And then when Jonathan makes a comment about it at the media speech, his defense, if you will, almost of it is, oh, well, we've kept Boko Haram out of Abuja, and they're running across the border and they're just hitting small villages. They're in the fringes. And then even Carissa Olukolade, when we spoke to him a few weeks back, said, oh, Boko Haram's on the run. They're just hitting soft targets, just villages. They're almost out. But for the parents whose children were killed at Yobe, Boko Haram is still very much alive. For the villagers that wake up at 4 a.m. to find Boko Haram in their village burning houses down, Boko Haram's not in the fringe. Boko Haram's in their living room.
Well, those are all just excuses. The main issue, and I think that Mustafa brought it up, was that Jonathan doesn't like to be told the truth. He doesn't like the truth. I think we have another caller.
Hi, I understand. Sammy from Arkansas? Sani. Yes, hello?
Yes, hello?
Yes, Sani, hello. Thank you for calling into Sahara TV. Please let us know what you want to share.
You say what now?
I said, please let us know what you'd like to share on the show.
Well, what I would like to share is that I just got back from Nigeria on Tuesday, and I have been in Zaria, Kano, Kaduna, in the northern part. And if we keep saying that there's Boko Haram in Nigeria, I kind of really believe that these people are coming from another part of the country. Because my observation in the northern part is there are Islamic schools with Western education in those schools. And these schools keep carrying going, they keep doing what they're doing, and nobody's going over there bombing them. So the government should start believing that these Boko Haram people, they are foreigners. This morning I was watching your show of these Boko Haram people moving freely. You can tell from the sound of their language that most of them, this kind of language in the north, we do not have. So the government should try to figure out exactly what's going on. I am an engineer. There are so many technologies that you can use to go down and find out where these people are coming from. I mean, it's just there. And the government cannot do this alone, truly, but people need to also volunteer. But me, my observation last week, I've been in the northern part for almost 2 weeks. There is hardly Boko Haram because I drive in the middle of the night, early in the morning, and people are going about doing things freely and living their life. So Nigeria is a very peaceful place. We forgive each other. We live with each other. We are so much intertwined that it's very difficult to operate. So this is my contribution I'm trying to make.
Yeah, thank you so much, Shani, for your contributions and for calling us today at Sahara TV. I understand that unfortunately we are out of time for this segment, but if we just wanted to make a couple of closing remarks regarding...
I was actually saying earlier that the person that called Mustafa talked about the fact that President Jonathan doesn't like to be told the truth. If you do, the government comes after you. And I think that's what happened in the case of Governor Shettima of Borno, because he made the statement that it looks, it's obvious that Boko Haram are more motivated and better equipped than our soldiers, and because of that, the president actually threatened to remove the troops from Borno, and you know, that was a shock for me because presidents of other countries, I mean developed countries where the president is actually doing something, if you know what I mean, they would never say something like that.
Right.
So it's a shame that if you say the truth, you're suddenly, you know.
Yeah, like Mustafa said, you're now the presidency's going to come after you.
So I guess he likes it when people say just good things. Mr. Jonathan likes when people say just good things about his administration, and that's not how you run a country.
Right. So thank you to all of our audience members that called in today on this particular segment of TalkBack. Stay tuned. We have more interviews coming up as well as a Skype segment later in the day. And when that one will be on Skype directly via, you can join us at guest.srtv or sahara.tv, our two Skype IDs, and that's going to be coming up later today, so do stay tuned for that. And again, thank you to all our viewers that called in and joined us on this segment.